What's up, guys? It's Chris again with Grammarly Historical Fencing, and this time we're coming to you. I'm going to review this jacket. So, I've not got to use it yet. Our practices are on Mondays, and I got this on Wednesday, I believe. But it's, let me start with how I found out about these. Okay, I was probably 3 months ago, I was watching Matt Easton. I was on Matt Easton's channel, Scola Gladiatoria, and I was watching his tournament videos of fight camp. Backsword, nylon longsword, that sort of stuff. Okay, so any of the nylon stuff, I noticed a lot of the guys were wearing these motorcycle protective jackets that have the hard shell on them. I've seen a lot of guys using them, and the protection that they offered is actually, from what I've seen in the video and the little bit of testing I've done by myself, really, really good. So what you got is you got the plate up here, which covers basically from the collarbone down to just above the belly button. Below that, you have a band that goes around the whole way around your stomach from the back. That covers the stomach. Now, if you needed more protection, you could mod this and put plates down here, or you could put backing onto these strips to give you more protection in the stomach if you needed it. Before I got this, all the protection we were using was hand, forearm, shin and knee, and a mask. We do need gorgets, but the masks come down pretty far, but we're not doing like super hard contact. And my guys really don't thrust a lot, and if they do thrust, I've been telling them to do it more at the body because of the fact we don't have gorgets yet. So that's how we've been doing our thrusting, but relatively no body protection is the point I'm getting at. Now the forearm guards that I have, I've got two different types. I got the Spez ones, and I've got a pair that are like Riot Guard forearm guards. Now the forearm guards that I've got on that are just independent forearm guards come down to about this point on the arm, and they do a good job of protecting the whole forearm and the elbow. The issue that I have with them is, so when I put a glove on for sparring, when I put the glove on, this cup or cuff on the back of the glove interferes with the way that I can move my wrist and my wrist mobility. Okay, if it stiffens it up, the independent forearm protection won't allow me to do all of my, I lose some dexterity in the wrist. Well, I don't need 100% of it all the time. I do like having the ability to change my wrist positioning and things like that. What I like about these is the forearm protection and the elbow protection are just a bit shorter. And where they do stop, my cuff on the back of my glove picks up the rest of the space here where it don't get. The also thing I like about it, instead of it being like a lacrosse armor or like a football body armor or something like that have the big bulky pads, you have this nice top of the arm and shoulder pad that are relatively small, but they offer good protection for these parts of the arms. Now, when I did get this, first thing I did was put it on, went and got my longsword and went to whacking at these plates to make sure that I could still feel it, that there was a thud there, because I think if you don't have some form of pain, which it shouldn't be hard, the worst you should get is a bruise. But if you don't have some sort of impact there and some sort of pain thing to teach you, hey, that hurt a little bit, maybe I need to do something different, I don't think you learn. I don't think you should be overprotected in protective gear to the point to where you can take a blow and you just haphazardly go in and don't care. Because that kind of beats the point in doing bloss fetching or unarmored combat. The whole point is to attack and defeat the opponent without being hit. So this allows you enough protection to where you can comfortably go in and get struck in these places, and you still know it. There's still a little bit of a thud and a sting, but you won't just haphazardly go in and attack with no care in the world because you can't feel the strikes. As far as mobility goes, like I said, wrist mobility is great because the gloves in these interact great. I had no problems with bending the arms in any direction. Same thing with the shoulders. There's no catch, no anything like that. The chest and the turning don't offer any kind of resistance, so I have full mobility in it. It's really light. I think it weighs a couple of pounds, if that. It's nothing bad at all. Then on the back, I don't know if you can see it, you have a full plate section that goes down the center of the back, and then you have the belt part that wraps around. You have padded pieces here to help protect the kidneys, which I think is great. So it's almost like having a built-in kidney belt almost. So I will have videos of me wearing this and sparring with it Monday after practice. I should have them up between Monday and Wednesday, depending on my schedule and my work. Hopefully I can get them up quick, but if not, I'll have them up in a couple of days. I'm hoping to see how this performs, and we're going to put it through its ringers at practice. I got this one at Amazon. Actually, a lot of the gear that I got, like my Rawlings synthetic wasters, and I only got the arming swords because I think the long swords are a little floppy. They're good, and if that's all you can afford to get, fine, get it. It's better than nothing, and it's safer than wood. I like the arming swords. The blades are a bit stiffer, and they seem to act a little bit better. Yes, they're still slick in the bind, but I like the arming swords a whole lot better than the long swords. One of the guys at our club has one of the long swords, and it does good, but the weight on the long sword's a little light, and you can get the metal pommel and the metal guards to help adjust the weight and things. But if you have to do a Rawlings, try to go with the arming sword version, and then buy a handle extension if you want to do like a longsword practice. It's only a few inches difference in the blade constitution and the construction. It's a lot stiffer versus the longsword blade, and it's not as whippy. If whippiness ain't an issue and you're okay with it, get the longsword. I still like both of them, and like I said, they're really cheap. They're like $60. Go ahead and get them. They go good with stuff like this. Now, I got this for $42, I think, off Amazon, which is actually a pretty good deal. It's a large. The price changes with size, so it might cost you maybe $45, $48 for like an extra large, or 2X or 3X. I think they go up to like 3 to 4X, possibly. I didn't look into that. I'm not that big of a guy. But the only other thing I would say about these is if you're training with steel blunts or fetters, you can't use steel blunts and fetters with this. This does not offer enough protection. The in between the joints where the arms are bearing things, typically you're not going to take a whole lot of strikes in these areas, but if you do from a steel blunt or a fetter, it's basically going to be that directly on the skin. The parts that these does protect against would be fine, but you don't have that additional padding like Gambison, like the Axel Peterson Spez jackets offer. This doesn't have that. Now, could you modify like a cheaper Gambison and take these off and attach them to it? Yeah, you probably could, and that would probably work. But if you're going to be using steel blunts and things, I would definitely suggest you have to have a gorget, and you definitely got to have some form of Gambison or thicker jacket than this. This works great with nylon. The nylon swords you don't have to have as much protective gear with. And again, I think I said this in my other video, my guys are all relatively new to HEMA or even weapons combat in general. So I'm not having them do any kind of steel stuff right now. And plus, I supply most of the gear for our guys at our club, and I can't drop the money at the moment to get 4 or 5 blunts or 4 or 5 fetters. So we're going to be using nylon for a while, and I think learning the fundamentals and drilling the nylon, especially because we use mainly Black Fencer and Purple Heart. Check those guys out. They offer great gear on both websites. I think this will work great for that. If you guys out there are mainly sparring with nylon, these are great. It's a cheap alternative to Gambison, which is typically kind of expensive. The Spez jackets, Axel Peterson jackets, they're about $200+. Again, I can't drop $600 to $800 on 4 jackets for my guys right now. I can't do it. But these are cheaper alternatives for my guys that they can afford themselves. This was, like I said, it would probably range between $40 and $60 with shipping, depending on where you live and things like that, and how far they have to ship it. It might be a little more expensive, but for nylon sparring, these are great. I've seen these used in tournaments with higher level opponents, higher level guys, higher skill level, and these things held up great. And if you want to view those videos, go to Matt Easton's channel, and remember to like and subscribe to Matt and Scola Gladiatoria, and just go to his videos and then hit playlist. He should have a tab there for like HEMA tournament, things like that, or fight camp tournament videos, and you'll see a bunch of the guys, especially in like the backsword, the saber, the nylon saber. I think if they have a nylon saber, it might be just the backsword, and then the nylon longsword, which I think is called the Eggington Cup tournament videos, that use these, and they do great. You don't see any of the guys welded up in pain or hurt because they got a hit. These do really, really well protecting, providing the protection that you need while still it's not being overly bulky. It's not overly protective, so you just wade in uncaringly. So it fits well within what we need at my club, and I think it would fit well with a lot of people that are kind of at that same area, using a lot of more nylons and things to spar with than steel. Now, hopefully you guys like it. Again, like and subscribe if you like what we're doing here at Grandma Lee. Again, I'm Chris, and thanks guys for checking us out. We'll see you next time.